Golf News RI presents the Golf Dudes Podcast. Here are the dudes.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday night. I'm Joe Calabro. Joining me is Golf News RI co-founder Rich Capali. Hope everyone had a great Thursday. It was a beautiful day. We played some golf today. Right?
Yeah, I had a great round today.
It was pretty ugly. Well, actually, we did okay.
I had a decent round.
So in case you're wondering where the heck we are, we're not in Rich's house. We're not in my house. We're actually both in the studio with a producer right across from us. So if something goes wrong, I can punch him in the face.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, believe it or not, we're both in the studio. First time both of us are in the studio. We're figuring it all out. It's actually a great spot down here in Providence, so thanks to Pat Ford for that. But anyway, enough of the pleasantries. Let's get down to business. Joining us, as you can see, is the co-founder, I believe, of Pin Golf, who we just launched a partnership with last week, Alec Lorenzo. Alec, thanks so much for joining us. Good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. How we doing?
We are doing well. We're doing well. Super excited about our partnership with Pinned that we launched officially last Friday. And again, if you're new, if you click on the link through our website, you can get a discount off of your Pinned rangefinder or really any other products. But obviously, the rangefinder is the big thing they're pushing. Is their big thing? And so again, you can click on the graphic on our website. It was in the preview for today's show, and it's all over the place. So really an awesome thing, and we were super excited to launch a partnership with them. Alec, just talk about, obviously you guys, as I know, you've been around for about 3 years, but just talk about where you got the idea from, how the whole thing started, and where you guys are kind of now.
Yeah, first, we're pretty stoked to partner with you guys as well. I think when we had met at the Cape Cod pilgrimage, it was cool just to kind of hear your story, and it was sort of a no-brainer for us. So again, being local in New England and hearing your guys' story, we love partnering up with guys in New England, sort of trying to disrupt the golf industry and do their own thing. So, but Pinned started it, like you said, just under 3 years ago. Just around the idea that golf is just too expensive. It is too expensive. And more specifically, golf technology was just outrageous. So rangefinders, GPSs. So you're 2 years out of school. We decent golfers. I mean, not scratched by any means, but we were playing probably 2 or 3 times a week. And we got to a point where we're just like, hey guys, like, what do you think about a rangefinder? So me and my 2 partners would play all the time. And this is, like I said, 2 years out of school. So student loans are hitting, entry-level salary job, barely making anything, or paying rent for the first time, or living on our own for the first time. So expenses are just adding up, and the golf rangefinder was pretty low on the totem pole for things that we just wanted to splurge on, but we knew it would help our game. So we kind of set out to see if there were cheaper alternatives out there. And what we soon realized was that there really wasn't. We did buy a few off of Amazon and test them out, but they were honestly just cheap. A couple of them broke right as we were using them. So it was like, yeah, it was kind of unbelievable. On the tee box, we pressed down on one and the thing just broke into pieces. So we were just like, all right, well, this is crappy. So that was kind of like the aha moment of like, hey, there actually might be an avenue for something along these lines. And the 3 of us always sort of had this entrepreneurial spirit. We would always kind of shoot the shit about ideas and what do you think about this? Like, you think there's a market for that? And then once this kind of presented itself, we were just like, all right, like, let's see what we can do with this. So one thing led to another. We came out with our first model, which was the Pearl. Was honestly kind of a proof of concept. We were like, hey, we don't want to spend this kind of coin on rangefinders, but they're charging that amount of money for a reason. Maybe people are just accepting that. And when we kind of went to market with this cheaper alternative, people were like, wow, this thing is not only less expensive, but the accuracy, the quality of it is pretty high. So sure enough, our sort of intuition was right. And these things just kind of started moving. And next thing we know, fast forward 2.5 years, it's gone from a side hustle for the 3 of us to 2 months ago, I actually quit my full-time job that I had been at for 5.5 years to do this full time.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. So it like I said, it went from sort of a side hustle hobby to now I'm eating, sleeping, breathing this. So it's been quite the ride, and it's been pretty fucking fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, I got a quick question for you. So we're both avid golfers, and I'm a big fan of the Barstool Foreplay podcast. Let me tell me a little bit about how you guys got involved with them, because they're an absolute riot.
Yeah. I mean, those guys are great. So funny story, Riggs just tweeted out one day and was just like, hey, I'm in the market for a new rangefinder. And this was probably 6-8 weeks into starting this company. And we were just like, hey, dude, send us your address. We DM'd him. We were like, hey, dude, send us your address. You'll have one in the mail tomorrow. So he sent us the address. We sent him one. We put a little handwritten note in there, because the funny sort of story is the course that we thought of the idea for was right around the corner from Barstool's original office in Milton.
Oh, yeah.
So
Portnoy's parents' house. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then they moved to a little office, but yeah, it was right around the corner. So we kind of tied that into there, and Riggs went to Harvard, so he was familiar with all the Boston courses, and once he read the story on us, he was just like, all right, this is pretty cool. He got the product, loved the product, and then next thing we know, we're been a pretty big partner of theirs for the last 2.5 years, and I mean, we can't thank them enough for what they've done for us.
I'm telling you, man. When Joe said he met you guys at the pilgrimage, I was like, oh man, those are the guys from that do the sponsorship on Barstool. I was like, holy crap, that's fantastic. I couldn't wait to talk to you guys. But yeah, I'm a big foreplay guy. I listen to it twice a week and everything like that. But it's great to see you guys going that national, because they're a huge deal.
It was a no-brainer for us. Like, again,
absolutely.
Their reach is the very first time we pressed play on some ads with them, like, we were getting orders from Australia and Canada and all these random places, and we're just sitting there, we're looking, we're like, where is this even coming from? Like, at this point, I'm still shipping them out of my South Boston 900 square foot apartment, like barely anything, like running to the post office at lunch during my day job, shipping these things out, and we're getting orders from Australia. It was unbelievable.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So what those guys are doing is great.
Oh, their reach is like unsurmountable. They're reaching everywhere. Like you said, Australia, when they went to the President's Cup, PGA Championship, especially with the LTP this past weekend with the whole debacle with the NCAA. They're just phenomenal, doing crazy amounts, and the bars they don't get enough credit. That's what I'm saying.
They really don't, and it's all authentic, because honestly, at the end of the day, they're 4 guys just like us, like guys who were kind of at the right place at the right time and got linked into it, and now, I mean, they're fans of all these guys that they're getting on. I mean, they had DJ on their podcast.
I know,
today.
I saw. Yep.
Like Dustin Johnson, dude. Like,
I know.
You told those guys 5 years ago, like, you'd be interviewing Dustin Johnson, the Masters champ. They'd probably laugh in your face.
Yeah. The only problem I have is Frankie's an Islanders fan, so we gotta have some words about that.
Yeah.
Alec, talk about, when you guys started and became something, really a real factor in the golf business or the rangefinder business. Let's talk about, did you guys get like some pushback from other major companies? I mean, we, on a smaller scale, have gotten some, not a ton, but some pushback from different parts of the golf community here. I'm just curious, as you guys started growing, like really growing, whether it was the Barstool thing or whatever it was, have you guys received pushback from competitors or established brands, I guess, is the word I'm looking for?
Yeah. Funny story about that. A big name in the rangefinder industry, and I won't name drop him to give him that clout, but it rhymes with Hushnell.
Nice.
They about 6 months into us starting Pin, sent us a nice cease and desist. So again, we're three guys who don't know much about the golf industry besides Tiger being the GOAT and who's good. We didn't know anything about the golf industry. So, so we were using some of their trademark terms like Jolt technology. And again, we were IT sales guys. Like we didn't know that was really even a thing. So I'm sitting in a meeting at my day job and I get a nice email from their parent company's lawyers. And I'm sitting there and my manager is trying to talk to me and I'm like reading through this email and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? I'm like, dude, we're 6 months into this and it's about to explode in our face. So I sent it to a buddy who was in law school and I was like, yo, what's up with this? And once we actually read through it, I got out of the meeting and read through it. I realized they weren't actually suing us or coming after us for any money. They just wanted us to get rid of their terms. So once we realized that was the case, we were like, oh, this is actually kind of sweet. They know who we are. So
it's like, we're kind of breathing down your neck, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So I printed it off and I put it in a nice picture frame and it's hanging on my wall above my desk now.
Nice. That's awesome.
So yeah. So I mean, it was like the first little notch on our belt to say, hey, you guys are doing something here. So just kind of keep at it, and we have. So
that's awesome. So talk about obviously you guys have come a long way, but what is next for Pin Golf? I mean, what's next? What's the next project? What's the next product? What are you guys looking at next as you guys continue to grow? Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing we're most excited about is we just haven't really we believe we haven't really scratched the surface yet. I mean, again, we're still 2.5 years old, and to be able to afford me to do this full time and all of that, it's been great. So I mean, what's next is we're just going to continue to innovate. We're going to continue to try to make these things more accurate. We're going to continue to try to make them more affordable. And from there, the end goal is to just make golf more affordable. And by making golf more affordable, at the end of the day, we're growing the game. And I think that's why we're all trying to get into the industry and why we all love the game is because it's an amazing game. And we want to see other people just come onto the course and play and get better and just grow the game, period. So, I mean, a pretty crazy stat last year, obviously during COVID, but there was 3 million new golfers who had never played before on a course, played for the first time last year. So, I mean, again, golf technology is only...
That's right up your wheelhouse.
Exactly. So, I mean, golf technology isn't going away anytime soon. It's becoming more robust. It's gone from a nice to have accessory to almost a necessity, right? Like I never had a rangefinder before I started Pin, and now I never play golf without it. Because you kind of need one, especially if you're playing different courses. And again, in today's day and age, I can't get a tee time unless I book it a week and a half in advance. So I'm playing different courses all the time. So definitely knowing your distance is huge.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy because, other companies have like apps that you use for the GPS and stuff like that. But when you actually use like an actual laser or an actual rangefinder, it's a little bit different. And then you add the slope. I know one of your models has the slope and everything like that. It like people are like, oh, no, I paid for this. Like it's a joke. No, it actually works. You know, you're going off the tee. You want to know where how far it is to that bunker on the right or something like that. You normally can't get an accurate reading with an app or something like that. When I use a rangefinder, that's what I want to know.
100%. Yeah. And I've used some of those apps before, and again, sometimes they're just really off. Like I'll be sitting in the middle of the fairway, like couple yards in front of the 150 marker, and it's telling me I'm 180 yards off, and it's got to do with the satellites and all of that. But it's just
I'll have my buddy be using an app, and we've been members at our course for almost 10 years, and I'm like, dude, there's no way that's like 160 yards. It's got to be like 140. And then
Yeah.
sure, shoot, I'll laze it, and I'm like, dude, it's like 135. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Oh.
so the technology that you guys, like, especially with you guys, like you guys doing the affordable rangefinder, man, I'm seeing prices like upwards of like $500 almost. And for you guys to put out a product that's good, if not maybe better, through your innovation and stuff like that, is fantastic. Because I mean, not for nothing, like you said, golf is expensive. You got clubs, you got a whole set of clubs that all cost different amounts individually. And then you got a membership and or greens fees and a cart fee. It gets out of control.
Yeah, no, and it's crazy. Like clubs, bags, shoes, greens fees, beers, hot dogs at the turn.
The most essential things, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it adds up for sure. So, that's sort of our motto. And again, we're just, at the end of the day, we're just looking to continue to grow the game of golf, because it's an amazing sport, and we want more and more people to get out there and just keep playing.
Absolutely. Again, we're talking about Alec Lorenzo. He's one of the co-founders of Pin Golf. Again, Golf News or I. We were so excited to launch a partnership with Pin Golf. Excuse me. Last Friday. And again, the links are on our website. The graphics on our website. It's a really cool graphic. It actually goes right with our color scheme. I don't know if that was done purposely or not, but it goes right with our color scheme, so it's perfect. Alec, I have one more question. I don't know if Rich has anything else. Just talk about. Sure. You guys talked about where you're going and how far you've come, obviously, but where is the rangefinder industry going? I mean, are these things going to get more innovative? Are they going to get more? Where do you think the industry is going? I mean, the PGA Championship just allowed a rangefinders. I think they're the first pro tournament to allow them. Recently, we saw that. Where do you think the rangefinder industry in general is going?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, and I think now that pros are in their hands and now they're going to be on television using it again, little kids are going to start wanting to, because Justin Thomas is using one, because Bryson's using one. They're seeing Bryson use one on TV. So, I mean, it's only going to continue to climb. And again, that's not even only rangefinders, but just golf technology in general. I mean, you look rangefinders, how much they've grown over the past couple of years, and then you look at these simulators, then you look at these flight TrackMans and flight scopes and all of this crazy technology that is just popping out of nowhere. That is just, it's insane. I don't know if you guys have ever used a TrackMan before, but I used one for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I was just blown away by all the data.
Everything. It tells you everything.
And the guy I was using it with, I was like, is this like accurate? Like, how did they even pick up on this? Like, dude, to the T. And I'm like, that is incredible, dude.
Yep.
So you're going to see a lot of innovation in the rangefinder space over the next couple of years for sure, and golf technology in general. It's only on the up, and it's definitely not going anywhere.
I mean, your eyes must have lit up when the PGA announced that it could use rangefinders. Your eyes must have been like wide.
It was
like, yes, like baby, let's go.
Yeah. It was on like a random Tuesday that the president came out. It was just like, yeah, by the way, rangefinders or distance measuring devices are now allowed at tournaments, and this is the first one that we're going to be able to allow it at. And we were just like, wait, excuse me, what did you say? like did I just hear that correctly? Because it literally came out of nowhere. Like, obviously it was always a pipe dream, like seeing rangefinders on TV, but now it's like, okay, wow, shit, it's here. Let's do it.
We're really doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
it was cool to. Oh no, go ahead. I was just gonna say it was cool to see guys using them on the this past weekend, and again, you're going to just continue to see more and more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Last thing for me, Alex. Good to see you guys are doing great. Happy for all the stuff you guys have done. And I look forward to testing out your product. Good luck in the future.
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate you guys having me on. I again was happy to meet Joe at the Cape Cod Pilgrimage, and was it, like I said, no brainer to start this partnership, and what you guys are doing over there is great, and you guys continue the hard work, and again, we'll be in touch, and I think again this could be one of many times that we get on here and chop it up and shoot the shit, because this was great. So I greatly appreciate the time, guys.
Awesome, Alec. Thank you so much for coming on the show. That's Alec Lorenzo from Pin Golf. Again, the Golf News Ride partnership with him launched last Friday. Having a lot of fun and looking forward to working with them in the future. We're going to take a quick break now. You'll get our great Golf Dudes promo that I edited. Pat's laughing at me. I guess it's not that great. And we'll be back. We'll talk about some U.S. floorball. It was an amazing run. We'll talk about some high school golf, and we'll get into some of the PGA Tour, some final thoughts from the PGA Championship from Rich, and this week's tournament, which actually has a good field. So we'll be back in about a minute, and we'll talk to you guys then.
Thanks, Alec.
Thank you, guys.
Billy Andre joins the show. Billy, thanks so much for doing this, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm very excited to be joined by an 11-time Emmy Award winner, and that is Armin Katayan. Massachusetts Women's Amateur Champion Allison Pake.
The days of the country club just being golf and maybe one amenity are gone. Unfortunately, Metacomet doesn't have those.
He has a very rare condition called kyphoscoliotic Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And at the time of diagnosis, there was only 60 documented cases in the world.
I mean, we legitimately played the last 4 holes at Newport National. You could not see 50 yards.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Golf Dudes podcast. Rich actually went to the bathroom, so it's just me. Actually, Pat Ford is sliding in and out. I'm not sure what he was doing, but anyway, Rich will be right back. He'll have to steal his chair back from Pat. They can fight over that. So anyways, thanks to Alec Lorenzo for coming on. Hope you guys all enjoyed the interview and all buy their products via our website. Very important for financial reasons. But yeah, they have great products. He's a great person. And it was fun to meet him a couple of weeks ago, or whatever it was, at the pilgrimage, like he said, over in Plymouth Country Club, excuse me. So I'm just going to get into some of this stuff while Rich is not here. U.S. floorball was this week. Basically, our week was carried by the U.S. floorball and high school golf, girls high school state championship, to be exact. So start with the U.S. floorball. Obviously, we were following it because of Wannamoisis Davis Chatfield. Chatfield's a former RA amateur champion, member at Wannamoisis, currently is a senior at the University of Notre Dame. Him and his Notre Dame teammate, Palmer Jackson, made a deep run of the floorball. They started the 2-day stroke play tournament, obviously, for qualifying, and then they had to do an 11 teams for 6 spots playoff, and they got in that. So they advanced to the match play portion of the tournament, and then they made a deep run to the semifinals before eventually losing to the eventual champions. Amazingly, to get to the semifinals, they won a 21-hole thriller, as we wrote about on our website, in their quarterfinal match to get to the semifinals. So pretty awesome run for them. As Rich rejoins me, it's not easy to get to the bathroom in this studio. I will say that.
I just jogged a half a mile.
So as he rejoins me here, I was just talking about the U.S. floorball and Davis Chatfield and his partner Palmer Jackson making a deep run in the tournament was pretty much carried my week. I don't know about you, but carried my week pretty far.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, congratulations to these guys. I know all the hard work that goes into. Talk to all the guys at all the various clubs, and they put the work in. So it's good to see that it's panning out for these guys.
Totally. So they lost in the semifinals, as I said, and they actually lost to the eventual champions, who were from Florida, and the U.S. final actually went extra holes as well. Kind of like their quarterfinal match. I was saying that Chatfield and Jackson, their quarterfinal match went 21 holes on Tuesday night. They had to wake up early the next day and play the semifinals.
That's
They won,
crazy.
Won a 21-hole match, and unlike our 4-ball matches, these guys weren't making bogeys and double bogeys. These guys are. If you look at this, I was following the live
Guys are
scoring
players.
with the scorecards. It was birdie, birdie, par, birdie. Occasional.
Oh damn! I made a par.
Occasional. I mean, they were winning holes with birdies.
That's
just what
nuts.
it was. Occasionally there'd be a bogey somewhere. I'm sure somebody had to go for it or
of
something,
course.
and
Yeah.
you go
In a
for
jam,
it.
you know?
I'm sure that's what it was.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was fun to see because they're just winning holes with birdies and pars and all kinds of stuff. So it was obviously high quality golf. And then that U.S. 4-ball launches us into what starts tomorrow, which I know you're excited about, is the NCAA championship. Obviously, a couple of Rhode Island guys to keep in mind. Patrick Welch playing for number 1 ranked Oklahoma, even though they barely got into the championship round. They had to make an amazing run on the final day of the regionals. And then the other player to watch from Providence, Moses Brown to be exact, is Will Dixon. He plays at Georgia Tech, and they're back in the final as well. Notre Dame, unfortunately, didn't make it. They missed the regional cut by 1 shot in their regional. So Davis Chatfield, unfortunately, and Andrew O'Leary, they didn't make it. But Will Dixon and Patrick Welch playing in the NCAA championship. That starts tomorrow. I think it goes till June 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's on Golf Channel. But it's always a fun tournament. I know the women's thing just wrapped up with Ole Miss winning. But obviously cool to have some Rhode Island connections in it this year. But any thoughts on NCAA golf starting tomorrow?
Yeah, now I work a 9 to 5 just like anybody, but it's nice to actually sit down after dinner and actually have some or during dinner and have some good competitive golf going. These guys, we had I got hooked when what was it, Victor Hovland and
I believe that's correct,
Matt Wolf were on the Oklahoma State team, and they took, I think it was either their rivals Oklahoma or maybe Ohio State or something like that. Dude, that was down to the wire. Guys hitting clutch shots. It was absolutely crazy, and I was hooked. I mean, I was hooked before, but that actually that actually grabbed me, man. Definitely check your Golf Channel listings. It starts tomorrow, and I think, would you say it runs till Wednesday? I think, or something like that.
I thought the date was June 2nd, but I could be wrong.
So
I know it's like a process.
I mean, these guys go hard. They talk a little crap after their shots. It's a really, really good athletic test for these guys. The course always plays hard. No, it's definitely, I got hooked, and it's going to be a good half a week or whatever, 5 days that this is going to be going on.
Absolutely. The other reason to watch too is I'm just trying to look up when this thing actually is, just so I don't get this wrong, because it's going to be embarrassing. I can't even find it.
I'll look it up.
Oh, Division I Men's Golf Championship, May 28th tomorrow to June 2nd. So I was correct. It is June 2nd, yeah. At Gray Hawk Golf Club in Scottsdale, Arizona, which means it's going to be some late night golf because they're on the other side of the country.
Humble plug. But if you guys want to see what Greyhawk looks like, Riggs from Barstool did played a couple holes from there with the drone and everything like that. So if you guys want to see some of the layout of that course, obviously Desert Golf, it's Arizona. But if you guys look at their podcast, their podcast on YouTube, you can see a little bit of the layout of some of the holes that are out there.
Now, as I was going to say before I decided to look that up, because I wanted to make sure I got it right. Another reason to watch the NCAA golf is because later next month, in June, is the Northeast Amateur. And guess where the Northeast Amateur is coming from? Guess who all the players that are coming from for the amateur? So it's also a great opportunity to learn who some of these players are, and because a lot of them come here. Not every single one of them, obviously, but a lot of them do come here. A lot of them are the top amateurs, and Northeast Amateur is considered a big time event. So
it's going to be a good event.
That's another reason to watch the NCAA tournament or NCAA championship, because you get familiar with some of these players, and then you go to Wannamoyset to a free tournament to see them play. You're like, oh, I saw that kid on TV, and they'll have,
you had some camera time.
They'll have their golf bags and everything.
So sick.
The Northeast is pretty cool. So
absolutely sick.
And so that's another reason to watch as well. But obviously, we are excited for the Rounders that are in it. Now for Will Dixon, he's a senior, and I'm told from his former coach, his Moses Brown coach. That they still talk, obviously, and I was told that he's actually going to forgo his remainder of his eligibility, and he's going to play amateur golf for the rest of the summer. Then he's going to try to turn pro. So
nice.
For him, this will be his last go round, unless something has changed, which
Good for him. Good luck.
I was told this about a week ago, so I mean, perhaps something has changed. He did qualify, or he did make the sectionals of the U.S. Open qualifying.
Oh,
so I'm not sure.
Nice.
I'm not sure when exactly he's playing that. That's going to be coming up, the sectionals for these things. But he actually made the sectionals. So again, I'm not 100% sure on the date of that, but we'll obviously have it covered. Real quick plug. Or actually, let's go to high school golf real quick. I just want to mention Brooke Brennan won the girls high school golf championship this past Tuesday. So congrats to her. She shot a 10 over 82 at Warwick Country Club, which in the wind
that is not
no
easy to
thing.
do.
Kylie Eaton finished second, 2 shots off the pace. So congrats to Brooke. We had an article up about that as well. Coming up next Tuesday and Wednesday, which I'm actually generally excited for, is the boys high school state championships, a 2-day event, 36 holes at Cranston Country Club. And so I'm excited to cover that. I'm going to be there both days. If not, we'll definitely be there both days. Tuesday might be a half a day or so, and then Wednesday I'll be there most of the day. So excited for that as well. And again, some of these kids are kids that are going to play college golf. Some of the top players, Harry Grimes, Harry Dessel, Ricky Angeli, who's the Hendricken coach's son. He actually qualified for the RI Amateur this past Monday. Nice. By the way, congrats to everybody else that had qualified as well. The top 22 made it. A special shout out to my guy, Derek Audette, for finishing first in the qualifier. So that's pretty cool. With an eagle on the third hole from 154 yards. How you doing today?
How's your game doing?
Yeah. And he says he hit a 9-iron, so there you go. 154-yard 9-iron.
Nice.
So anyway, we obviously had coverage of that. That was much earlier in the week, but just wanted to give out the high school. So shout out real quick, because I do want to get into some of the PGA Tour stuff. Let's just plug Saturday's big event that Golf News RI is hosting. Book signing with Peter May at King's Crossing. We were at the King today, talked to Rob and some of the guys there. They're excited about it. It's a big deal, obviously, for them. It's a big deal for us to be hosting it, and it was obviously a big deal months and months ago for Peter to let us try to promote his book. So if you want your open question book signed, he's going to have some copies there that you can purchase, but obviously you can bring your own. I'm going to make sure I bring my own and have him sign mine, and obviously you can go to the bookstores or order it online or whatever you do these days, and bring your own copy, and he'll obviously sign it. So that's on Saturday at King's Crossing from 4 to 5 p.m. We're going to do a book signing. We're going to do like a little question and answer session. I'm going to host that, but obviously we're going to take people's questions as well. It's not just me. I'm just going to kind of get it started and then obviously open up to the floor. So super excited for that big event. And again, Golf News RI really excited to be hosting that and trying to put that on. I'm going to try to live stream it in some way, shape, or form, either set up my laptop or do my phone. It shouldn't be a problem. No. So just so people can watch the question and answer. Obviously, we'll have pictures and all those other things as well. So, and Peter came on our podcast a few weeks ago, however long ago it was. So it was fun to talk to him. So that's coming on Saturday. Any information, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to Rich or whatever if you want, and we'll get you steered in the right direction. But that's Saturday from 4 to 5 p.m. at King's Crossing. Last 10 minutes or so, we want to get into some PGA Tour. I know today, big tournament today, the Charles Schwab Challenge. But real quickly, a final thought on the PGA Championship and Phil Mickelson winning.
I don't really have words. It was absolutely insane. The whole him hitting the ball in the water on, what was that, 13?
I think so.
13.
That's when I said, uh-oh.
Yeah, that was a big uh-oh moment, and just the whole Tiger-esque scene, with the fans like basically swallowing Brooks up, and Phil leading the charge to the 18th green. That was insane. The whole setting of Kiowa and all that. It was an insanely hard course, and for somebody like Phil I hate to say at his age, but I mean he's older now. To do that and just pretty much dust the field for the most part is just absolutely insane. Yeah,
it was great to see Phil win. Obviously, I wasn't sure he was going to hang on. honestly, I didn't think he was going to hang on when the round started. He made that bogey on the first hole where he left his shot from 100 yards short.
The sand shot was just he's going to, it's over.
The sand shot was amazing. Unfortunately, Louis fell short. He made a nice, he had to make that eagle putt on the last couple holes there. That would have been big, but fortunately he fell short. But obviously a great week, a fascinating week for sure, and obviously it ended up resulting in a great story, which is mostly what I root for is the story at this point.
Absolutely.
So that was awesome. My mom wants to know, do you need tickets? Obviously, she's talking about Saturday's event. Actually, a good question. You do not need tickets. King's Crossing is a public course, or is open to the public, so you don't need tickets. You wouldn't need tickets anyways, even if it was at a private course, but you do not need tickets. Just show up. The whole thing is open to the public. That's why we've been blasting it out. So try to get as many people there. Like I said, buy the book beforehand if you want, or he's going to have a bunch of copies with him, and you just buy it there, and he'll sign it and go from there. So no, you do not need tickets. It's actually a good question. So that's good. So anyway, back to PGA Tour. You want to do? We watched a little bit of it today. JT, I know, crapped himself.
He might be pants crapper of the day.
Jordan Spieth, I think, was still in the lead. So why don't you just give the usual
leaderboard
rundown, some of the top guys, some of the other important notable scores, and then we'll go from there.
All right, so Spieth had a remarkable, awesome 7 under today. So did Sergio Garcia. Hello, how you doing? Where did you come from? Let's give you some other scores. Adam Hadwin's 3 shots back at 4 under, as is Brandt Snedeker. Sebastian Munoz, 3 under. Ian Poulter at 2 under, along with Patrick Reed, Justin Rose, Daniel Berger. Let me look. Doug Gim is 2 under as well. He's right in there. Camilo Villegas is sitting at 1 under. Not bad. Another.
I like Camilo Villegas.
All right, so do I.
I met him at the CBS Charity Classic in 2006.
Nice. Yeah, I think I saw him there once or twice. Yeah.
I don't know if he still does. He still get really low on the ground.
I'm not sure he used to do it. I don't think he does it now. But yeah, he's
Remember
a great.
That he used to get way down low and
on the one leg.
Yeah.
No, he's a great story. He had a couple family tragedies, but yeah. Joaquin Neiman is tied for 24th at 1 under. Will Zalatoris is at 1 under. Tony Finau 1 under. Kisner at 1 under. Morikawa. So like we said, we were talking about it on the way to the golf course. This is a pretty stacked field given the fact that it's the week after a major.
No, that's what I said to you today.
That's
at the
what
golf
it is.
course. I said,
Crazy.
wow, I can't believe there's all these people playing.
Yeah.
Even Phil's playing. He was doing terrible for the moment that I showed him. But it's actually a good field this week. And like you said, it's the week after a major. Usually these tournaments like staying. And plus, the U.S. Open's only like 3 or 4 weeks away, or whatever it was.
Yeah, like 3.5 weeks or something.
So
less than a month.
I was surprised that it's such a great field. Obviously, sponsors have something to do with it for some of these guys. That's the part of professional golf. You go where your sponsor tells you to go.
Absolutely.
But certainly surprised that it's a good field this week. Are you surprised what we saw out of Jordan Spieth, or are you surprised out of Sergio? Obviously, Sergio was kind of surprised. Nobody saw that, but.
So I'm thinking that I just think that I know a lot of the guys haven't played Kiowa before. So like I said, I had Spieth, JT, and another person, whatever. A lot of these guys didn't see that course before. So the wind, the firmness of the greens, just the overall ambiance of the course, I don't think they were ready for that. I mean, it kicked a lot of these guys' butts, you know?
Yep.
So I am absolutely not surprised that Jordan's charging forward again. He's picking up right where he left off before the PGA and the Masters. He was playing great before the Masters. And I mean, not for nothing. Who knows? Hopefully he can be in prime spot for the U.S. Open. It's at Torrey. I off the top of my head, I don't really know how he's played at Torrey.
Yeah, we'll have to do a deep dive into.
Yeah, we'll do a deep dive. We'll do a good dive into the U.S. Open. I mean, I've bet
that would be interesting to know too, because we could legit do that, because these guys play Torrey. Like no one plays Kiowa other than it's a major.
No, it's just a major.
But Torrey, you could look at Torrey and see. You could almost use that for betting odds and Maybe I will do a deep dive.
Yeah,
over
definitely.
A few weeks or so.
I
we
mean,
have
Torrey's
weeks
like
to put it together. So
Torrey's like Pebble. It's like it's never not windy, and it's weird when it's not.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the conditions there are like the quote unquote the wind. It can change one time and it can be still the next. You know, so it's gonna be crazy. It's a long course. You've played there before. The South course.
Shot 92. Thank you very much.
Shot 92. Thank you very much.
Not
How
from
you
the-
doing?
Not
a big deal.
Not from the Tiger tees, but
Not a big
still
deal.
counts.
But yeah, it's gonna be a test. Let's see. I mean, I'm not sure what I'll have to look at to see what tournaments Jordan is in the next 3 or 4 weeks. I think he's. I mean, look at him. I mean, today, hopefully he finishes top 5 this week, and he's just gonna push forward. I think his swing is in a great spot. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Last topic for me, and then we'll get out of here. Is obviously it was announced this week there's going to be another match. I think it's the 4th installment of the match. Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson against Aaron Rodgers and Bryson DeChambeau. That in itself was entertaining, but that was quickly overshadowed,
Dude,
completely
I can't.
overshadowed by this ongoing feud between, which no one knows any reason for, actually, not really, between Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau. It was all over social media. There was some leaked video that we posted. It's since been taken down because copyright infringement. Somebody took it down everywhere.
Yeah, the PGA,
not
I think
on
the
us.
PGA took it down.
There was some leaked video about Brooks Koepka doing an interview with Golf Channel's Todd Lewis, who I happen to like, but that's beside the point. And Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau walks behind Brooks, and I don't know if he says something, it's hard to tell. And Brooks rolls his eyes, completely loses his train of thought, drops it like an F-bomb or something, and loses his mind. Now, no one actually, the best part of that video, like I said on my own Facebook post, is no one knows where it came from. No. It didn't air on Golf Channel.
it was on for like what? It was on for like 6 hours? Like
it broke late last night.
No, I'm talking about it was aired, it was before it was taken down. It was like what, 6 to 10 hours maybe?
Oh, it was up the night. Somebody leaked it the night before.
Yeah. So
and I posted up the very next day.
Me and
so
you-
what is real quickly? We only have technically a minute left or so, but what is going on with this? Like, is this a real feud? It's reportedly going to be paired at the U.S. Open. USC is going to bust their balls.
I'm gonna be.
This is like crazy.
I'm going to be kid friendly here. It's a measuring contest.
Yes.
It's a measuring contest. Who has the longest drive? Who has the? You get what I'm trying to say. It's all about brawn and muscle and this and that. And Bryson's pissed off that, Brooks is pissed off that Bryson has this newfound power and he's out driving him by 10, 15 yards, even though Brooks is supposed to be the PGA Tour's, what's it called? The PGA Tour's musclehead, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Dude, the memes that we were sending, even Brady got into it. Brooks does the sorry bro to Aaron Rodgers. It was nonstop entertainment for the past like 24 hours, and we absolutely need a Bryson Brooks pairing on Thursday and Friday of the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I mean,
need it. Absolutely have to have it.
Some of the stuff is just like inexplicable. Where does this stuff come from?
It's great.
Now they're going back and forth with the memes, like you said, and Bryson put out a meme of Brooks Koepka with a picture of Bryson and Brooks's head.
And then Tom Brady goes at Aaron Rodgers. Then Phil gets into it with them wanting the current PGA champion and not an old one like Brooks. Like, dude, it was absolutely hysterical.
So,
I had a blast.
So totally insane couple days for the tour. I don't think any of them are playing this week. They're not playing this week, right? Brooks isn't playing this week. Phil's playing.
No, out of the three, Phil's playing.
Phil's playing, but that doesn't count.
But it's going to be
totally.
It's what, the day after 4th of July, right? The 5th or the 6th? 2 days. 2 days. So it's the Wednesday. Tuesday. Sorry. So that'll be on TNT.
So that was the big social media news of the week. Totally bizarre, totally inexplicable. None of it actually really makes any sense. Actually,
none of it does. Absolutely nothing.
No one really knows why or why they hate each other or whatever. I have no idea. It's totally a mess. But the match itself was enough of a talking point by itself because that was fascinating, and then it just got completely overshadowed. So.
Like I said, Brooks was pissed off that everybody swallowed him up in the crowd. They said somebody hit his knee. A bunch of people hit his knee because they were so close to each other and all that. So he was all fired up going into that interview. So it's all downhill from there.
Totally. So unless you got anything else, we are going to wrap this baby up. Thank you again to Alec Lorenzo for coming on the show from Pin Golf again. You can find the graphic everywhere on our website. Click there, use our discount code, and get yourself a inexpensive rangefinder and completely change your game. Tournament season's coming up, our amateur season's coming up, and all this other stuff. So you want a good rangefinder, so get Pinned Golf is your product. Okay, lots coming up, like I mentioned, real quick. Saturday, we have the book signing at King's Crossing, 4 to 5 p.m. with Peter May. You do not need tickets. That was a valid question by my mother, believe it or not. Tuesday, Wednesday, we have the RI High School Golf State Championship at Cranston Country Club. Should be really fun 2 days, super competitive. Hendricken and EG are probably the favorites, but Moses Brown has a chance. And even Wheeler's playing pretty good as well, and Barrington too. So should be really fascinating. And then next week we have a couple potential guests. I'm not 100% sure which way we're going to go, but we are going to start our RI Amateur series over the next couple of weeks. We're going to have I've already talked to some of them. They all want to come on. We'll have some of the best players in the state come on prior to the amateur, some past champions, and others as well. So that's coming up quickly. So we're going to start the coverage early. And the coverage you can find just here on Golf News RI. So anyway, that's my long spiel, and we're going to wrap this thing up. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Stay dry, and we will talk to you all next week. But stay tuned to Golf News RI all weekend long, as always.